Good morning, traders. It's Barry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is 8 minutes till 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, February 27th. So, looking at the news flow today, we had preliminary GDP, unemployment claims, durable goods. Basically, they all come. Unemployment claims, there's a few more claims than expected, right? Which is good for the FOMC. And then preliminary GDP and durable goods basically come in a little bit hot. Market's not cooling down. So, I ask this all the time: is good news bad news, or is good news good news? We'll find out as the day progresses. At 10 o'clock, we're gonna have pending home sales, and then we have three FOMC speakers today. Uh, uh, One at 11:45, one at 1:15, and one at 3:15. Uh, the one that probably has the most potential to do something with a headline is the 315 speech. So most of us won't be trading by then, anyways. But this one has the headline risk. It's close to the end of the day, and the topic, and with the questions. There is questions expected on the 115 as well, so something can come in off topic and then nothing really for that 11:45. Of course, we had Nvidia after the bell last night. I haven't looked to see how they're doing today, but when I looked last night, it was down a buck after being up $4, so nothing really doing there. So yesterday we had basically come in, and you can always tell where there's sellers, even though we kind of opened up above value, built some action up there. We just come back down, and we just traded value area low on the NQ and the ES basically to the tick, and then just bounce. So basically, it was just a little bit of a shake and bake, nothing really going on. The Qs spent their time between 800. Let me rephrase that. The Qs spent their time yesterday between 512 and 520 during the session. That's an $8 range. That's pretty good. 320 points there, and then with 515 being the support, resistance, potential, whatnot. The cash market spent its time basically uh, right around 59.40, uh, all the way up to 6K, so around a 60 point swath there, and the SPY spent its time between uh, basically 592 uh, up to 599 is really where it was yesterday, just under that 600 marker. So as we beat that up, uh, what happened with structure was we got the Dow right with a noticeable split in the distribution, and I didn't put them on last night, but you could literally take all of the indexes and kind of in that look at the low of the 930 bar. You could pretty much draw a line across that for yesterday as a quasi split, or you could look towards, but basically between there and yesterday's bell open, you could just draw a little box on all the indexes, and that would be an area to look above or below. We had underwater trades go off in the Dow, and those single prints, bearish single prints coming down. Looking at positioning, and this is the title of my video, 520, 522, 524. Those are your upside targets one at a time. Right now, the Qs are trading 517. So the one 517 quarter. So the one 520, the lowest strike there, that would be around uh, 90 points or so. Uh, I'm sorry, about 110 points from where we're currently trading, higher than we are right now. So, I'll have these lines on the 8 grid when I send it out later. But you're looking at basically 415-ish, let's call it, on the Qs, and then you got basically each next one of these sets up are about 82 points higher, and those would be your markers. So the most gamma left for the week is on the 520. So that's the major support. But if you start, waffling over that, you could pretty quickly, I think, get up to 522, which would be 80 points above, 80, 82 points above there. Come back down, retest the 520, kind of dance around back up here. And if you start holding it, you could get up to 524. I don't think 525 is on the table today, to be honest with you. And I would, if you, any test of 520 and even 521.75, 521.50, I would just start looking at you're living on borrowed time. Your risk to reward starting to invert once you get above 522. So we'll just have to see how it plays out with the VIX. Looking at support too, there's really nothing that you could hang your hat on for support until you get down to 510. That would be about 300 points lower than we're currently trading right now. So that would put us down basically right around 21,000 even. Looking at the Qs, I'm sorry, looking at the SPY, you've got 595 is, a marker for today. And, this goes back to the legend. This is the sum of this week. Look at how much 595, look how big 593 and 594 look today. But when you look at it for the week, right, they dwarf in comparison to 595. So 595 is really your marker. Uh, for support. And I could make the title like a mile long on my videos, but that's where I'd be looking for that you should find support. We're actually trading 596 right now, so you're only looking about 10 handles down to get to this 595. The VIX needs to accelerate and be one time framing higher and be higher than where it was basically uh, during the lower points of yesterday to get going down here. Remember, the yesterday's low was at 592. Today's low really shouldn't breach 595 unless that VIX is really going up, and it just should be starting to get it to be a draw. The closer we get to Friday, the more this is going to be your major support resistance or penning action. I'm not going to get into the cash too much here. We 59.50 is basically where we closed. We're up about 15 points. So, uh, I'm rounding. So right around 59.70 is where we are. You can see there was a bump for the week at 59.75. That's only 5 points up from where we're trading. And then if you can get that, you're looking at the 6K, which would be 50 points up. And to be honest with you, I think it's going to be difficult to get for the cash. We have to watch that, but that's still going to be your major support resistance line as we go. Looking at untested points of control, we're currently trading 59.83. We've got one at 60.1375. That was yesterday's point of control, and then at 60.34. So there's your upside that needs to happen. As we look at one time framing, we are technically one time framing higher now back into bounds. And it'll be interesting because we did trade above yesterday's. We did trade yesterday above Tuesday's bell high. So that means that potentially this yesterday's low should be tradable against. Everyone and their brother is going to have stops under there. Yesterday's low should not get taken out if we're going to continue to retrace back up towards the top of bounds. So I always say, is it going to be a one and done, a three and done, or are we going to be able to move back to the other side of balance? The other side of balance is at 22,075, and the other side of balance for the ES is up at 61.48. So we have to pay attention to yesterday's lows, right? So you're looking at 20,990 for the Qs, and you're looking at 59.24 for the ES. So that's going to be critical. Otherwise, we could just start bouncing around down here. So, like I said, keep your eye, but we should start to see some one-time framing higher now, as long as this isn't a one and done. And then you can bet your bottom dollar that at 60, right around that 6K level, which is probably around 60.15 or so today, there's going to be uh, a bump for your support resistance on the SPX. Overnight action, 54 points. As we look at all the indexes, we're in value on all of them currently. The overnight highs have been basically inside of the value or right at the top of it. The lows have been, right at value area low or just slightly below it. So we're just kind of treading water in the overnight session here. Uh, on some serious strength, I think your top, looking at structurally, you should assume that 21,660 is around that high, and for the ES 6116, that would be a monster move up. That would be over 100 points up. So those would be, if you even sniff those levels, you just have to be, if you wrote it up there for whatever reason, if that's the kind of strength we have today, you just have to get out. I mean, there's no sense chasing beyond that point, and there's no the closer you get to it, the worse your risk to reward is going to be as well. I can see us potentially trading up to 60, 70 today, I think would be, not that bad. And that would be something that would, keep the one time framing up, and then we'll have to see how it goes. And then for the Dow, for those that play it, you want to see it back above those bearish single prints. We'll see what Jack's looking at. And keep in mind, you got this split that's been key for the NASDAQ above or below at 21,281, basically. And you can see that it's you can get some trades above, but basically the bodies are going to be above or below that line. That's how it's been for this line for the last couple of weeks. And then until it gets washed out and you see that the bodies aren't staying above or below anymore, then we'll take it off what we're watching. But until then, you should assume that it's going to be as critical as it has been. And it doesn't mean you just trade to the penny against this level, but you want to be paying attention to which side of the action we're on. And if you got targets below that level, like if you're bearish, it's not. You got to see it break that level before those are going to get filled. And the same thing if we're below it. If you got bullish targets above it, you need to see it go through to get paid, or you're probably have an unrealistic target there. I hope this helps you guys have a great day. We'll see what Jessica looking like, and I will talk to you tomorrow.